this kind of what we're going to talk about here. Um, we're going to talk about and maybe get a pretty good look at um, contact. No, basically we can only see this on a pitch that's being pulled, but we're going to cover two different things. One of them has to do with really the concept of slamming the door. Really, the concept as you swing through of slamming the door and not being so conscious of, instead, swinging out towards the pitcher, getting hands out towards the pitcher, or doing any type of like linear type movement with your bat head or with your hands through the ball in regards to maybe the plane of the pitch or the pitcher, in regards to a straight ahead type movement. And so we take Guerrero and we kind of watch Guerrero turn through the ball, and as we see this kind of turning through the ball, this is where we would sometimes maybe think about as we're doing static training and slamming the door. What's kind of meant by slamming the door, and as you turn through, we can kind of see the concept of slamming the door happen here instead of some type of contact or some type of movement that'll move us this way. This is what I mean by linear towards the pitcher or the path of the ball. What we more find is more of a slamming the door, more of a just really slamming the door closed type movement. And if you look at the relationship of the ball, to the barrel, as contact is made, this is contact here, and watch how quickly that the bat head kind of gets through this collision with the ball. Watch how quickly, and it's a really good thing to watch just in terms of watch the ball as the ball exits the screen. Look at how quickly that the bat head gets through the ball. So we'll kind of take these back, and what I'm going to do just kind of right now is I'm going to put the dot kind of right there. I'm going to put the dot on the end of the bat, and this is real easy. It's 1/60th of a frame with every click of this. So I'm going to go backwards. That was actually forward, sorry. But this is backwards, and we see the movement of the ball in 1/60th of a second from there to there. We see the movement of the bat head. So we kind of, damn it, I keep going the wrong way. We kind of take this back one more time. Now this is where, honestly, we can't see where the bat head is, but we could guess that maybe the bat head's, it's really hard to tell. The bat head's going to be somewhere down in there. I'm not 100% sure, but if you just check the distances that are being traveled here in this 1/60th of a second, I mean, we can see the bat head just barely here over the shoulder and kind of just barely there. And so we'll continue just to kind of back this up and give us a better idea, especially when we want to, especially as and this is contact here. So I mean, that's contact, and this is basically from contact and through the ball. Yeah, this is kind of tricky. So here's our bat head here, right at contact, and on the very next frame, I mean, if we just follow the distances that each of them are moving or whatever, maybe I can kind of do this differently also. Maybe what I'll try to do is just as I go through this one more time, I'm going to well, this is the bat head here. We pretty much have the bat head there. On the very next frame, it's kind of difficult because the umpire's kind of in the way, but we have the bat head there. We have the bat head out front. I'm going to kind of put that down a little bit, so those red dots right there more represent kind of the bat head, as the bat head's being turned and basically down and through. So we kind of take this through and kind of watch this go through. It's not fair to the depth that we see here. The depth that we see here is not a true I'll kind of show you what I mean by that, especially on these frames as we go from and it's good that we bring up Guerrero basically for the same thing. Because on that one frame in there, it kind of looks like the bat head is really not moving, but we'll notice on Guerrero as he goes through this, we'll kind of put a little dot on the end of his bat there, and look at the distances that are basically being traveled here, especially as he goes into contact with the ball. So this frame here on the video over here really represents this line right here, really represents the line. So you can really see the differences that we're talking about, just because of the frame, that we're kind of, watching here and stuff like that. So we can really see the different movements that are like going on here. This is I'm going to back this up once and kind of play around with this. So we have the ball here, and on the very next frame we have the ball basically moving that much, and we take it back and we can see the distance that the bat head has moved as it goes into collision with the ball is really similar to the same distance the exit speed of the ball coming off the bat. Now it's a little confusing. It's just the first time I kind of put one of these together, but it gives you a real good idea about turning through the ball. It gives you a real good idea of what's going to happen. Basically, what's going to happen. What's going to happen in regards to how quickly that you can get your barrel through the ball. And so what we'll do is we'll just kind of track the pitch coming in. This is more than likely this is an off-speed pitch. We don't see real big distances here. We can pretty much guess that the Guerrero is going to turn through this thing at about 90 miles an hour. His bat speed going through the ball is going to be about 90 miles an hour. And we'll see that he's really going to accelerate this ball as he comes down to make contact and stuff like that. We're going to really see that from here's contact, and now let's put the same dot. So, I mean, basically there, let's put the same dot on the next frame, and we can easily see the ball's going to exit the screen at a higher rate of speed, higher distances per 60th of a second that I'm clicking this through. Then it came into the screen. So, we're looking at a ball exiting the screen maybe at 100 miles an hour. I'm not 100% sure on that, and then if you just look at the red dots down underneath that, or the distances that the bat head's moving, through basically through collision with the ball. So it's really interesting to see, what effect does it have? What effect, what visual effect can we see when we see the bat head get through the ball, and how quickly that it really matters how much speed that we can put into closing the door. Now remember, this is not a linear type movement. We're not going to see a linear type movement this way of the bat head. We're looking at a more of a slamming the door this way type movement, slamming the door closed. If this is a door and we basically slam it shut, basically we're going to basically take, if this is the door frame, if we're looking down on the door frame and this is the door here, we're basically slamming the door shut. The door's being slammed shut, and we're, really doing that as we turn through. It's more of a focus of slamming the door shut, of slamming this closed, of, taking the bat head and slamming it closed as we get through the ball, instead of, attempting to do some type of linear type movement towards the pitcher. So this is the slamming the door type movement that we're more thinking about. So pretty interesting stuff to see. So kind of end it right here.